excited to have some recognitions this evening, and we'll ask our superintendent to drive that forward.
President Pedersen, yes, thank you. Super excited about the recognitions that we have this evening. We have two amazing recognitions, to be more specific. Our partners for the Canvas Classic Community Football Game and a well-deserved Teacher of the Year award. Leading tonight's celebration is our Chief Information Officer, Ms. Madeline Noblet. Welcome, Madeline.
All right, thank you, Superintendent Kingsley, directors of the board, cabinet, and everyone gathered here this evening. It's nice to be back with recognitions after taking a month off, and as Superintendent Kingsley said, we are going to kick things off tonight with a recognition of one of our incredible community partners. This is something that is a standing item for each of our recognitions, to be able to say thank you to an organization, a nonprofit, a business who has given back to our community and been able to enhance the experiences of our students, and more specifically in this case student athletes. I think I'll take a point of privilege and just share a little bit about the recent Canvas Community Classic, the first, and then I know my colleague Brandon and our partners will do a wonderful job, but I think what is so special about the event that happened here just a few weeks ago was the community aspect of it. It brought together everybody from all of our schools and just so many in our community into one place. And I'd like to say thank you to Brandon for the vision and for everybody who made that possible. I think we heard from so many in our community that this has been a long time coming, and it was just a joy to be able to watch that come to life. So with that, I'd like to invite up my colleague, Director of Athletics, Brandon Carlucci, as well as our partners in Mr. Alzello and Mr. Bayer, so that we can recognize you this evening. Thank you. All right, and if you'd like to come over here.
Well, thanks, Madeline, and to the board, Superintendent Kingsley, the cabinet as well. One thought about the community, the Canvas Community Classic this year, and why perhaps it was the right event at the right time. You know, for the last 2 years, getting through this pandemic, so much of what's been right in front of our face is the things that separate us as a society, right? So many different things, from masks, vaccinations, 2 different painful elections that we've gone through as a society, social issues, Supreme Court decisions, whatever it is, those things have been right in front of us, and they've done a great job, you know, dividing us and getting us into camps. And along that time, during the pandemic especially, one of the things that was lost were these gatherings, right? Whether it be concerts or performing arts or athletic events. And when you're at those events, you don't care about the stuff that I just mentioned that divide you, right? I've never been at a Broncos game and celebrated a touchdown and given a hug to a stranger behind me or a high five and stepped back and said, wait a minute, who'd you vote for, right? That doesn't matter. And so while this might have not been the first event coming out of that, you could tell, and I think Madeline alluded to it as well, it captured sort of some of what had been lost when we had gone through this pandemic and taken away some of those events that transcend our differences and bring us together. And it's tough to argue that or think that some of the things that we celebrated that night, hey, do you want to get together and celebrate high school kids playing football on a Friday night? That brings communities together. Tough to find differences in would you like to go celebrate kids, and we brought a ton of kids onto the field to celebrate them that night, and tough to find reasons why that wouldn't bring people together. And hopefully people were leaving that event thinking, wow, I'm part of a pretty special community, and my kids are attending a pretty special school district, because we certainly think that's the case. So that was our heart behind it, and certainly I'm privileged and was honored to be a part of that, and a lot of people went into that. A couple thank yous before I get to Canvas. And we're going to celebrate them as well, and that's well-deserved as well, but there were a few others. Lots of people within PSD, building athletic directors who aren't here tonight. I'll get back to them. But even in this room, a lot of security were on board that night helping us make that happen. Madeline and her staff from communications promoting the event for weeks. You know, my boss, Assistant Superintendent Scott Nielsen in the sport, he continues to give us. Brian Kingsley was there, our superintendent, with the coin flip of the first game. We had multiple board members there that evening, and at one point one of them asked, hey, how do we get down there on the field? They just wanted to be down there because there was energy on the field and there was excitement. It was just so fun. It was infectious. So thank you to everyone here for your support of athletics and your support making that happen that evening as well. And then obviously the building athletic directors, We didn't take anything off their plate. We added this to their plate, and in the middle of a fall season that has softball and volleyball and golf and tennis and field hockey and gymnastics and all these other sports that are still going on, we said, help plan this event, and you're in charge of these activities throughout the night, so make sure you're working with bands and with unifieds and with dancers and all of these other things that happen. And it would not have happened without their support. They knock it out of the park. None of them are here tonight because in true athletic director fashion, they're at an event tonight celebrating cheerleaders at the conference cheer competition at Fossil Ridge. So thank you to everybody, and particularly our building athletic directors. Also a huge thank you to CSU. At every turn, I've tried to take an opportunity to thank them. From the very first time we met, they've been welcoming, they've been gracious, and extremely accommodating. They said, what do you need? And we kind of looked at them a time or two and said, we don't know what we need because we've never done this, so please help us. And we said, we want this to look as closely, to resemble a CSU game as much as possible, and they absolutely made that happen and spared no expense and brought in all the resources they need so that this would be an amazing event for us, and appreciate that. In fact, a week before the event, Gary, you'll remember this, we're in a meeting at CSU, and there's probably 50 people in the room, all from CSU, representing probably 10 different departments who all had a stake in that event in some form, whether it be traffic, whether it be concessions, whether it be security, and you're looking around going, holy cow, you don't just throw the lights on to Canvas Stadium and do an event. It takes a lot of people. And so to CSU and the many departments that help make this available for PSD and for Canvas to partner and pull this off, we certainly thank them as well. But the reason tonight is to thank Canvas Credit Union, and how fitting that if we're going to play a football game or 2 football games at Canvas Stadium, that Canvas Credit Union be our title sponsor. They've already partnered with PSD in many ways, and this was just another opportunity for Canvas to engage in the community, engage PSD. It started at the very top for them. Their CEO, Todd Marksberry, was in Fort Collins when we did the official announcement last February. He and his wife were both in attendance at the game that evening and was on the field to present the $20,000 check that they awarded to PSD for the event. Canvas, without being solicited on their own idea, they donated 250 shirts to all 4 of our teams that we distributed to our athletes that they were able to take home. They donated 125 miniature helmets that now sit on the shelves of many of our football players around town. Gary Ozella, who's here tonight with us, was in every planning meeting that we had with CSU, and around every turn he said, you let me know what you need as far as time and resources. And so believe me when I say they were much more than a sponsor for this event. They truly were a partner. So with that, I know the board will take their opportunity to thank you, but on behalf of PSD Athletics, our athletic directors, our coaches, our teams, Canvas, thank you very much. I'll introduce who we have here tonight. Gary Ozello is the Director of University Relations, and AJ Bear is also with us, who works with Gary in University Relations as well. So I'll turn it over to the 2 of you and let you say a few words, and again, thank you.
Brandon, thank you, and Superintendent Kingsley, board, cabinet, thank you for this opportunity. As Brandon mentioned, it's been a team effort. We kind of had an innocent conversation, the 3 of us, about a year ago at this time. And Brandon had the vision and said, what if? And if you know Canvas Credit Union at all, we have 5 pillars that we live by as Canvas family members. We want to be known for our as leaders in our communities that we serve and beyond. We want to be known for our heart in the community, ease of use. We want to be known for our service, and we want to be known for our people. And this was an incredible opportunity for us to partner with PSD. We have long been a partner with PSD, and as a longtime resident who had 2 now adult children go through this district, I'm always grateful and thankful and looking for a way to pay back. And on behalf of Canvas, we had that opportunity. When Brandon brought this idea forward and we took it to our supervisors, it was a slam dunk, no pun intended, to do this event. And it did bring the community together. One of the neat things that took place with this event is that when Canvas Stadium was built 5 or 6 years ago, the intent was to bring our community together. And it's not just a football game. It was a community event that night that I think we all walked away proud that we had been involved with that event, and we appreciate your support. What I can say is that as great as it was, we have plans on the board to make it bigger and better, to continue to broaden and strengthen our partnership with PSD, and we thank you very much.
Yeah, be.
That's great. Thanks very much.
All right. For our next recognition of the evening, it is my pleasure to recognize Miss Erin Austin, a teacher at Poudre High School, who is the 2023 Teacher of the Year for the Colorado Congress of Foreign Language Teachers. I think this is just so significant given the nature of our work, and I think, Erin, this just speaks to the quality of your work. So with that, I am delighted to invite up my colleagues, Miss Kathy McKay, the principal at Poudre High School, as well as Miss Austin for this next recognition.
Thank you, Board of Education and Superintendent Kingsley, Cabinet, for recognizing Erin Austin this evening. I am honored to introduce her. She is our French teacher extraordinaire at Poudre High School. And while I won't be able to capture all of her accolades, I do want to name a few because they're quite impressive. Erin is a mom. She is an entrepreneur. She is a blogger. She is a advocate for the teaching profession. She is a board member of the Big Brothers and Big Sisters board. She is nationally board certified. She is Front Range Community College endorsed or certified. She teaches AP Art History and every level of French in the IB program. And somehow she manages to exercise as well. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. I don't know how many hours she has in her day because I don't have that time. So yes, with that, I'd like to turn the mic over to Erin Austin.
I did not get to exercise today. So I really appreciate the recognition, of course, but there are three distinct groups whose own recognition here is vital. Number one, I can do what I do because I have great kids. Students are, and they should always be, absolutely number one. And I so appreciate all of the parents, the guardians, the mentors, and supportive adults who raised my students to be who they are and who love them for who they are. I rely on community adults. Number two, I can do what I do because I have put myself in environments, both in jobs and in experiences across the country with highly effective colleagues, many of whom are national board certified teachers. And the more I'm around people who are fantastic at what they do in absolutely any realm, the more I want to get better at what I do. I rely on effective and inspirational colleagues. And number three, I can do what I do because I have an administration at Poudre High School and in the district that doesn't micromanage away innovation. I have been in that kind of situation, and it doesn't produce greatness. Currently, I have an administrator in Kathy who believes, like I do, that if something is good for kids, we shouldn't ask if we can do it. We need to ask how. I rely on administrators and on structures that think big. So thank you all for your part in helping teachers in the district be successful with our students. I appreciate it.
And if I could, I just want to add one more accolade to that, and that is my daughter's favorite teacher. So, thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you.
That was inspirational. Thank you so much for everything that you do. It means so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, and that concludes recognitions for this evening.